Hello. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in just a minute. If you've got access to the chat box, if you could just type something and let me know that you can hear me all right, that would be great. Okay. I'm not seeing any chats, but if you can hear me, say something in the chat box. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Awesome. All right, we'll get started in just a moment. All right. Welcome to Friday Unwind Yoga. My name's Ari. I'm a community yoga teacher with Hands to Heart Center, and I use he, him pronouns. For those who don't know, Hands to Heart Center, Yoga for the People, is a nonprofit organization that shares the healing practice of yoga with people affected by addiction, poverty, and trauma in the greater Boston area. And we're really excited and grateful to the Boston Public Library for partnering with us on this virtual project. So just a couple notes before we begin. This is a basic gentle yoga class. And one thing that's really important to keep in mind is that what is gentle for one body may not be gentle for every body. So if, as we move through the practice, something isn't feeling right, or just isn't the gentle sensation that you came for today, feel free to modify, and I'll offer some modifications and variations as we move through. But in general, and this should really go for any yoga practice, the cues I give, the poses, the shapes that I offer are meant as invitations, not requirements. So the whole point is to do what feels right for where your body and your mind are on this Friday afternoon. So with that, let's get started in a comfortable seated position, whatever a comfortable seat looks like for you. For me, that's cross-legged. You might bring your hands palms face up on your knees, or palms face down. Or it might feel grounding this afternoon to bring one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. And if it feels good for you, you might let your eyes flutter closed or your gaze soften. And just start to tap into your breathing, nice and slow. Big inhale to fill your belly and feel your heart lift. And exhaling, feeling your shoulders relaxing. Keep breathing like that, nice and slow, slowing everything down. And notice how as you inhale, the crown of your head can reach a little taller, your spine can lengthen. And as you exhale, you can keep that length in your spine, but allow the muscles and bones of your shoulders and upper back to relax toward the floor. So even with this simple breathing, there's some activity happening. There's some engagement in your core to keep you lifting up even as you relax down. A couple more breaths like this at your own pace. Now we'll be here in a seated position for the start of our practice for a few shapes here. So if at any point the comfortable seat starts to feel less comfortable, just adjust. Move into a different shape. Maybe it's changing the cross of your legs or sitting up on something. I have my yoga blocks with me. If you have those, that can be nice to sit on. Even just a paperback book. On your next inhale, bring your left hand to your left knee and your right hand to the floor out next to you. And then as you exhale, just feel your right ear start to reach toward your right shoulder. We're going for a very gentle stretch through the left side of your neck. The neck can be a tricky place, especially if you've been working hard all week, whatever you're doing, standing, walking around, sitting at a desk. Your neck might not be used to getting stretched, so be really gentle with it as we begin. Just feel that right ear reaching toward the right shoulder. You might notice as you breathe slowly that on your exhales, you're finding some length through the left side of your neck. And if you like, you might bring your right hand to the top of your head, not tugging, just allowing the weight of your hand itself resting to add a tiny bit more of a stretch. And then take a deep breath in and slowly come back up to center here. And we'll switch sides, so right hand rests on your right knee, left hand comes to the floor. And on an exhale, let your left ear fall toward your left shoulder. And then again, if you choose, you might bring your left hand to the top of your head and allow just the weight of your hand on your head to slightly deepen that stretch through the right side of your neck. We will do some cow and cat poses soon, as the feline that has just joined me is suggesting. But we're not quite there yet. Come back up to center. And notice how your postures change. Just take a deep breath in, lift your chest, grow nice and tall. Exhale, roll your shoulders down. And now that we've brought some motion to the neck, you might start taking some very slow neck circles. Maybe you just move through half a circle here from one shoulder down to your chest and over to the other shoulder. Or maybe you start to take it into full circles, allowing your head to drop back to the side, to the front, the other side. And whatever you're doing, make sure you take it in the opposite direction as well. And then let that motion slowly stop. On your next inhale, take a deep shoulder roll. So squeeze your shoulders up toward your ears. And then exhale, roll them down your back. Same thing, opposite direction. So inhale, roll your shoulders back and up. And exhale, roll them forward and down. One more time each way. Inhale, forward and up, reaching those shoulders toward your earlobes. And exhale, pull them down behind you. And inhale, shrug up. Exhale, roll forward and down. Take a deep breath in. This time sweep both arms up high overhead. And exhale, come to goalpost arms or half angel wings. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you to lift your chest a little higher. Stay here as you exhale. And then inhale, sweep both arms up long once more. And exhale, twist gently open to the right side. Plant your right hand on the ground behind you. And bring your left hand to your right knee. Take a deep breath in, feel your spine growing a little taller, reach your chest a little higher. And as you exhale, deepen the twist by pulling your right shoulder blade back. Another deep breath in here. Another slow breath out. One more inhale. And exhale, release back to center. Same thing, second side. Take a deep breath in, sweep both arms up, nice and tall. And exhale, half angel wings again. Take a deep breath in, feel your chest reach high. And maybe this time as you exhale, let your chin fall toward your chest. For a deeper stretch across your upper back and shoulders. Inhale, sweep both arms up, reach tall, and exhale, twist open to the left, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up, and exhale, open. Another deep breath in here. And as you exhale, think of pulling your left shoulder blade a little farther back. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release, come back to center. All right, this time take a deep breath in, sweep both arms up, and now fold forward toward the floor. Let your hands come to rest on the ground in front of you. Take a deep breath in, lift halfway, lengthen your spine with a flat back. And then exhale, fold over completely. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe your elbows come to rest on the ground. Maybe your head drops toward the floor. You could even rest it on your hands if you like, or a block or stacked blocks, stack of books, whatever you've got. We'll stay here for a few deep breaths. And as you breathe, try to notice any places in your body where you're holding on to tension, where you're clenching, or where something in your body is saying it's not quite ready to let go. And see if as you inhale, you can direct the breath toward those muscles, toward that spot in your body. And if as you exhale, you can exhale the tension along with the breath. We're here for 5 more breaths at your own pace. Slowly start to make your way back up to a seated position. And then from here, keep going. We'll meet in tabletop. And since I can't see you, I'll just give you a moment to get here. Allow yourself to take the time you need to come out of that forward bend. And set yourself up for a strong tabletop. So that means spreading your palms, your fingers wide to create a really strong base. And then firm up your core. Draw your low belly toward your spine to create a flat back. Feel yourself rooting down into the ground through your knees, your palms. And feel the crown of your head reaching straight out in front of you. So notice where your chin is pointing. If your head is dropping, lift it up a little bit. But you're not looking up. It's a neutral gaze on the ground, maybe a foot in front of you. And then from here, we'll start to move into our cow and cat stretches. So that's an inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Cow pose. And exhale, round your spine, let your head drop. This is cat. Again, inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Continue to move through this, match the breath to the movement, and see if as you move through it, you can deepen the stretch in both directions each time. Really articulating your spine here. Getting deep into those stretches. And if you like, you can add some lateral movement into the shapes as well. So maybe it's wiggling a little side to side, or making figure 8s with your hips. If it feels a little silly, embrace that. Remember, nobody can see you. So just allow yourself to twist a little bit, contort yourself. Try out some odd stretches and see how they feel in your body. And then let that motion stop. Come back to tabletop, take a deep breath in. And then we'll move into child's pose. Separate your knees a little wider, bring your big toes together to touch behind you. Sink your hips back and down toward your feet, and then walk your hands out in front of you to lower your chest toward the ground. Bring your forehead to the floor, and exhale out nice and slow. Just allow your body to melt into the floor here. And if you like, you can let go of any sense of effort here and just relax into the floor. Or if you'd like to turn this into a slightly more active stretch, think of reaching your hips back a little farther as you reach your fingertips forward a little farther to deepen this sense of stretching all the way through your body, from your hips to your fingertips. Whatever you're doing, try to just pay attention to your breath. Deep inhales and slow exhales. We'll do a couple more things here in child's pose, and if you like, you can stay right here. But if you'd like to get a little into some side stretches, then follow me. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to walk your hands over toward the right, picking up your forehead and then putting it down in a new spot over to the right. You might grab your left wrist with your right hand to give a very gentle tug up along the floor. And keep reaching your hips back and down. So you're creating this deep stretch all through the left side of your body, from your left hip to your left wrist. Notice if those hips are coming forward, especially your left hip. And try to encourage it back. That might be a sign that you're trying to push your body a little too far into this twist. Take one more deep breath in here. And then exhale, release, come back to center. Back to child's pose. Reset here, take a deep breath in. And exhale, same thing, second side. Walk your hands over to the left. Set your forehead down over to the left. Left fingertips come to your right wrist. And as you give a gentle tug, you pull your right hips back and down again. Finding that long stretch through your right side. Take one more deep breath in here. And exhale, walk your hands back to center. Child's pose one last time here. And then on your next inhale, make your way back up to tabletop. A moment here again just to reset, back in your tabletop. And then from here, tuck your toes under, take a deep breath in, and exhale, press your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Again, a strong base here means your fingertips are spreading wide. You're pressing those palms into the ground. And you're reaching your chest back toward your thighs to elongate through your arms and armpits. Bringing a bend into your knees might help here, especially if you're finding strain in your low back. Take one more deep breath in, and then exhale, start to walk your hands toward your feet and come into a forward fold, nice and simple. Slight bend in your knees, or maybe it's a big bend in your knees. Take a deep breath in and lift halfway to a flat back, reaching the crown of your head toward the front of your room and your gaze to the floor. Press your palms into your shins and your shins back into your palms, or if that feels like you're reaching a little too far, then bring your hands to your thighs instead. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, fold forward all the way once more. Relax your back. This time, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up toward the ceiling, and maybe even a baby back bend here. And then exhale, fold forward once more. One more time, inhale to that flat back, that half lift. And now exhale, plant your hands on the ground and step back to a high plank. If you need to, bring your knees down to the ground. Take a deep breath in, and then slowly lower your body all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift your head, chest, and shoulders by pressing your palms into the ground for a baby cobra. A little stretch through your chest. And then exhale, fold forward. Forehead back to the ground. From here, we'll make our way back to downward facing dog and get there however you like. You might press back up to tabletop and then tuck your toes under, or you might just press straight to a high plank and lift your hips back. We'll do that whole sequence again one more time. Not too fast. This is gentle yoga after all. These are called sun salutations. They're a great thing to do in the morning to wake up, and a nice way to get your blood flowing a little bit. If it becomes too much, again, just slow it down or modify. Take a deep breath in here in your downward facing dog. And again, exhale, walk your feet toward your hands to a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Press your hands into your shins or thighs. Lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up as you come all the way to standing or reach tall. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands on the ground. Step back to your plank. You choose your version of a plank here. Deep breath in. And exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Or if you know chaturanga, that half push-up, you're welcome to do that. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog if you're coming all the way up. And then exhale again, make your way to downward facing dog. And you may know some of that sequence, the high plank to low push-up, upward facing dog, or cobra to downward facing dog, is known as a vinyasa, which just means a flow. But in yoga classes, you might hear the instructor say, take it through the vinyasa or through the flow, and that's what they're referring to, that high to low push-up, up and down dog. So we'll take that sun salutation one more time, and you can play with your variations here. One more deep breath in down dog. And exhale, walk your hands toward, or your feet toward your hands. Fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to shins or thighs. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold completely. Inhale, rise to standing. Sweep your arms up, nice and tall. Big stretch, and then exhale, fold forward once more. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale through your version of a vinyasa. Again, that might look like stepping back to your high plank, lowering down to the floor. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. This time, take it back to child's pose where we were earlier. Big toes together touching, knees wide, forehead to the ground. And relax. Nice slow breath. On your next inhale, come to tabletop. That's wrists underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. And we're just going to do a little bit more activity here before we head onto our backs and start to slow things down even more. But first, take a deep breath in, tuck your toes under. Back up to downward facing dog again. Inhale, three-legged dog if you like, which just means send your right leg up and back out behind you. And then as you exhale, bring your right foot between your palms. And that might take a few steps to get there. That's totally fine. Then drop your left knee down so you're in this low lunge position. Take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up so you're coming onto your right foot and left knee. Inhale, reach up a little taller, slight bend in your back. And as you exhale, try to squeeze your glutes and feel your hips pressing forward half an inch. You might feel a stretch through your abs and your left hip flexor and quad. One more deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, drop your right arm down alongside you and sweep your left arm up and over toward the right to deepen that stretch through your left side. Stay here for a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Inhale, come back to center, sweep both arms up. And exhale, plant your hands on the ground and step back to downward facing dog. Again, it might take a few steps to get there. We'll repeat that same stretch on the second side. So inhale, three-legged dog. This time your left leg reaches up and back behind you. And exhale, bring it between your palms. Bring that right knee down to the ground. And then take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up. So again, you're rooting down through your left foot and your right knee. Inhale, lift up a little taller, slight bend in your back. And exhale, squeeze your glutes again to press those hips forward half an inch. Feel that activating the stretch through your right hip flexor, your right quad, your abs. Another inhale here. And then exhale, drop your left hand alongside you. Sweep that right arm up and over toward the left. And keep in mind a very gentle bend to the side here can create a lot of stretching through the right side of your body. So you really don't need to force it. You don't need to push it. On your next inhale, sweep back up to center. And exhale, plant your hands on the ground and make your way back to your version of down dog. Take one more big breath in here. Feel your hips reach up nice and high, big stretch. And then exhale, bring your knees to the ground. And lower yourself all the way onto your belly, sending your legs out long behind you. From here, you're going to set up for a little chest opener. So what that looks like is shoot your right arm out to the right and lay it on the floor. It might be extending straight out alongside you. I'm just lifting it up so you can see my arm, but it should be planted on the floor. So it might be straight out alongside you, or you might bend it like this, like the goalpost arms or the half angel wings that we did at the beginning. The bent elbow is going to create a little bit of a deeper stretch. So it's up to you. You can try out both. Whatever you're doing, plant that arm on the ground. Take a deep breath in. Press through your left palm next to you, next to your chest on the left side. And then exhale, roll up onto your right hip. So you're stacking your feet, stacking your legs, and that leverage in your left hand can help. You can stay right here. This might feel like plenty of a stretch through the right side of your chest and shoulder. Or if you like, you can plant your left foot on the ground behind you, if you can reach. I can't quite get there today. Or you might lift that left arm up to the ceiling, or even bind it behind your back, reaching for the floor behind you. It's totally up to you. Wherever you're going, tune back into your breath. Notice if it's sped up, and see if you can slow it on down. On your next inhale, reach your left arm up toward the ceiling if it was behind you, or just plant it on the ground. And then exhale, slowly, gently roll back onto your belly. We'll take the same thing on the second side now. So again, you can choose what to do with your arm, and it doesn't have to be the same thing on the second side. Whatever feels good. Our bodies are not symmetrical, and it doesn't usually do us any good to force them into being that way. Send your left arm out to the left, either straight out or bent elbow, goalpost arms. Rest it on the floor. Bring your right hand next to your chest by your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in, root down through that right hand, and exhale, roll over onto your left side, stacking your legs. Let your left ear relax toward the floor. And again, you get to choose where you take it here. You might stay right like this. You might plant that right foot behind you. You might reach that right arm up into the air, or bend it and bring it behind your back. It's all up to you. Take one more big breath in, and as you do, bring your right hand back to the floor, and exhale, roll over onto your belly. From here, we'll make our way onto our backs, and you could do that just by flipping over like a pancake, Or you can come back up through tabletop. Maybe you take a cow and a cat, if that feels like something your body would like. And then come to lying on the floor. It's up to you. Once you're here on the floor, plant both feet on the ground so your knees are pointing up at the ceiling. And we'll come into a slight back bend here, an active shape. Take a deep breath in, root down through your heels, and exhale, press your hips up toward the ceiling. You might just stay here for a moment before you let your hips meet the floor once more. If you want to deepen that stretch, you can bring your hands together underneath your back. Walk your shoulder blades a little closer together under you to puff up your chest. And squeeze your glutes to feel your hips reaching toward the ceiling a little taller. We're here for 5. Tapping into that breath for 4. For 3. For 2. And release back to the floor. Take a moment here to swish your knees side to side, loosening up your hips and your low back. And we'll repeat that again. And if you like, there are a couple variations you can take here. So one is if you do have something like a yoga block or a book, you can bring it underneath your hips for a supported bridge shape. And just rest your hips on it. You can also use your hands a little bit as a support there. And I'll show you when we come up. Whatever bridge you're going into, stop that swaying motion with your knees. Root down through your heels. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, press your hips up. And I'm showing you right now what it can look like if you support your glutes by pressing your elbows into the ground and pressing up with your palms. Stay here and just breathe. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly lower back to the floor. Now send your left leg out long on the floor, so unbend your knee and hug your right knee in toward your chest. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, guide that right knee across your body with your left hand toward the left. And send your right arm out to the right. Bring your gaze toward your right fingertips. And you're landing here in a supine spinal twist. With each inhale here, feel your belly filling up. And with each exhale, allow gravity to pull that right knee a little closer to the floor, deepening the stretch through your spine. And remember, I said gravity, so even if your left hand is resting on your right knee, you're not pulling, you're not forcing. You're trying to relax into the shape and the opening that it can provide in your body. Take one more deep breath in and stay here for the exhale. Then on your next inhale, guide that right knee back toward center. And exhale, send that leg out long, meeting your left on the floor. This time, take a deep breath in, hug your left knee in toward your chest, keeping that right leg reaching out long. And then exhale, supine spinal twist, second side. Your right hand helps draw your left knee across your body, and your left arm is reaching out toward the left. Look over at your left fingertips. And try to notice if that left shoulder blade is coming off the ground. That might be a sign that you're going a little farther into the twist than you need to. It'll help you feel grounded to keep your back entirely on the floor. And just twist as far as you can with that anchored position. In our day-to-day, we don't have a ton of opportunities for this type of spinal twist, but it can be really nice for shaking things up in your back, as long as you're gentle with yourself. On your next inhale, come back up to center, hug that left knee in toward your chest. And then exhale, release, send it long, matching that right leg out on the floor. Now this time, bring your heels to the mat again, so your knees are pointing at the ceiling. And we'll set up for figure 4. So cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So it's resting just under your left knee. And this might feel like a stretch in your right glute and your right hip. If it is, you're welcome to stay right here. If you'd like to deepen it, you can start to move your left thigh toward your chest. You might wrap your hands around the back of your left knee and give a very gentle tug toward your chest. At the same time, you might press your right elbow into your right knee to press that knee away, so you have this opposing motion of pulling in on the left and pushing away with the right. And you'll notice how that lights up that stretch in your right glute and hip. Take a deep breath in here, fill up. And exhale, feel your legs relaxing toward your body here. And again, when we take these shapes, I'm always a little wary of encouraging people to tug or pull on your body, because that can cause us to tense up. It can make the muscles throughout your body engage and fire up. And that's not really what we're going for in gentle yoga. So if you can, even if you're tugging a little bit with your arms to deepen that stretch, notice what's happening in your shoulders and your back, and see if you can just relax everything toward the floor. Minimal effort here. Take one more deep breath in. And then exhale. Start to come out of this shape by bringing your left heel to the ground. And then your right heel comes off that left thigh and meets the mat. It might feel nice here to take that swishing side to side motion again with your knees. And then let that motion stop, feet plant on the ground. And we'll come into figure 4 on the second side. So cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, it's resting just below your right knee. You can stay right here if you're getting the stretch you need today. Or you can reach for that back of your right thigh. Hug it toward your chest. And again, if you like, you can press that left knee away with your left elbow. Maybe one way to think of this is giving your legs a little bit of a hug. Not a vigorous hug, just a gentle hug. Thanking them for whatever they've done for you this week. Helping encourage them to relax, to open up, to take a load off. And just breathe. Always just tapping into that nice slow breath. We'll stay here for one more deep breath in. And then exhale, unwind from it, right foot to the ground, left foot to the ground. From here, hug both knees into your chest, and then spread them apart a little bit and reach through for your variation of happy baby. For me, that looks like bringing my hands to the outside edges of my feet and tugging down gently so that my knees are reaching toward my armpits. For other bodies, that could look like hands to the inside edges of your feet, hands to the backs of your knees, or hands to your shins. It's all good, it's all up to you. And what you're going for here is a flattening of the spine against the floor. So especially feel your low back pressing into the ground. And then once it's there, once you've made contact, you might start to rock gently side to side, tugging down. If it feels good and safe for you, you might let your eyes flutter closed. Take one more big breath in here. And then exhale, let go of your feet, or the backs of your legs, whatever you are holding on to. And hug your knees in toward your chest. Take any last motions that would feel good to you here. We're moving towards Shavasana, the final resting shape here. So if there's anything else that you haven't gotten to yet that would feel good in your body, now's the time. It could be simple knee circles like I'm demonstrating here, just helping loosen everything up in the hip sockets. Whatever you're doing, if you take it one direction, make sure to switch directions. And for the final resting shape, you always have options. The standard asana here, the standard shape, is to send your legs out long and let everything just relax into the floor. But it might feel nice to bring a blanket or a pillow beneath your knees. It might also feel nice to come into a simple inversion, bringing a block or a book underneath your hips to elevate them a little bit so they can float up toward the ceiling without effort. Or you can move and bring yourself over to a wall, sending your legs up against the wall. or really whatever other shape you'd like. This is your final resting pose. So wherever you're going to go, take one more deep breath in, hug your knees into your chest, give them a big squeeze with gratitude for what they've done for you, what your body has done for you. And then as you exhale, come into that final shape. For me, that's sending my legs out long. I'm bringing my arms to meet the floor in a comfortable neutral position. And you might let your eyes flutter closed. Take one more big breath in here. Feel your belly fill, feel your chest rise toward the ceiling. And then exhale it out nice and slow. Shavasana. You are always welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. We are approaching the end of our time together, so if you'd like to wrap up with me, start to bring some motion into your fingers and toes, maybe some little wiggles. You might begin to roll your wrists and ankles, maybe you hinge at the elbows and the knees, waking things up. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up high over your head and then back behind you on the floor for a big good morning stretch, reaching your fingertips and your toe tips as far apart as possible. And then exhale, just let everything flop to the floor. Slowly, however you like to get there, we'll meet back up in a comfortable seated position like we began. Take a deep breath in, sweep both arms up nice and high. And exhale, hands to your chest. With gratitude for your body, for each other. Thank you so much for joining me in Hands to Heart Center and the Boston Public Library for this Friday Unwind Yoga. I'd love to know if you'd like to leave a comment in the chat box, what you liked, what you would do differently in the future. And otherwise, have a great rest of your Friday evening and a wonderful weekend. I'm also happy to answer questions in the chat box. If you'd like, I can stick around for another minute. If not, thank you again. And hopefully we'll see you in the virtual realm sometime soon. Thank you so much, Laura.